Here I've got a few controllers. I'm replacing all the old ones throughout the home. Honeywell, non-programmable, 4-wire. So I'll go over the features, how this works. Here's the front and the back side. You got 4 wires. I'll show how this works. We got a set of black wires and red. Down here it's labeled L1, L2. That's load wires, power coming in from your breaker panel, supplies the switch. And this is T1 and T2. They are thermostat wires feeding the baseboard heat. So when that engages, it engages these wires. However, in the off position, there's no power on this side of the switch. As soon as you turn it to on, one side is active. It's sending power to the baseboard heat. And this side comes on when it calls for heat. You'll hear a little click. Right there. Then this is energized, and then the heater comes on. I have another video of installing the thermostat. However, this is going to be as if you were doing it new. I'm doing some remod in the home, and I relocated this box to here with the wires, so everything's like a new installation. Plus I'll explain things a bit differently. So the first thing we want to do, I know the power's off, is go to the basement, find the breaker, and turn it on. Here's the breaker panel. You've got singles and doubles. These are the 240 volt breakers. They have a wire on each breaker that goes to the thermostat. So when you turn it on, it activates the power on both. Now that the power's on, we'll check to see which ones are hot. Nothing. Nothing. So you got 120 on each leg here. These go to the L1 lugs, and these feed the heater. And it's nice, you can see separate wires here. That makes it easy. If you don't have this style tester, show how to use a multimeter. So we want to go to the AC side, and the max voltage will be 240, so I'm going to choose 600. So, black on the ground and one here. So we call that 120. Same here. And then between the two should be 240. Nice. There's power. I'll go down and turn the breaker off. Hey, you want to double check, see if your power's off? Nice. Of course, there's nothing on here. But you never know, right? Things get weird. Here's a close-up. Ideally, this is the way to work. You can see 2 groupings of wires. This one goes to the baseboard heater. This one comes from the breaker panel. However, if you've got a bird's nest in there, that electrical check solves all the confusion. Another thing I'd like to point out, this whole house was wired with the 4-wire thermostat. However, you can change this to a 2-wire system. Let me give you an example. Here you got power coming from the breaker panel, and then you connect it to this one, which is going to the baseboard heat. And then you wire nut that together, stuff it in a box, and then these two get hooked up on the thermostat. So you got power all the time on one leg going to the baseboard heat, and then this one's controlled by the thermostat. However, I went with the 4-wire because they were less expensive. We got the 4-wire system. There's no grounding lug on this unit. I guess because it's all plastic, that's why they do that. So we tie these grounds together and bury them in the box, and that grounds the baseboard heater. So you line them up evenly and let the nut screw right on. Get it real snug. You can do a pull check on each wire. Do that on all of them. Nice when you have a lot of room in the box. Here's the orientation this will be on the wall. And these are the L's and these are the T. So these are thermostat and then the load wires. These are thermostat, so I'm just going to switch them so it's not so confusing. Bring these down and these up. Now all we got to do is make the connection. Another thing to check, that bare wire is too long for a wire nut. It has bare wire showing. So you want to trim that down. The colors doesn't matter which one you put on. As you can see, one's white. So I'll do a close-up on the first one. Now you see that's a frayed wire. So you want it to exceed the stiff wire, or a wire nut can push it down. Sometimes I give it one little twist, and you want to line it up pointy. That frayed wire is above the solid. Then you install your wire nut and let the wire nut just pull right on. Nice and snug. And then you hold the wire nut and pull on each wire. If they don't pull out, you're good. I try to get everything nice and straight. If you got a L on there, it makes it difficult. And we can pull this off, just push on the knob in the center. So even the bottom, it wouldn't matter which one went where. But let's make it look nice, black on black. The frayed is just above the solid. Nice! Okay, now we want to tuck all these wires in. Just spin them around. And now they're like an accordion. They go right in. There you got a screw top and bottom. You just line it up with the box. Pull it in a bit, then do the top. Whoa. You gotta hit it though. Pull it all the way in, then loosen it up so we can level it. Nice. Snug it up. Put the beauty face on. Let's go turn the power back on. Got the power back on. I noticed a little hole peeking through there. I'll put a little bit of drywall mud on there. Then I'll paint it. All right, it's sending 120 to the heater, but it won't work until it gets the second leg, which you should hear a click right there. You go check the heater. See if it's heating. Oh yeah, nice and warm. Here's a 2-wire thermostat, and you can see the 4-wire gives you the off option. However, that's 30 degrees right there, so that's like 25 degrees. I guess if you want to keep your home at 25 when you're not here, it'll come on. The other way to turn this off is just turn the breaker off. But, you know, somebody keep it at 40 so the pipes don't freeze. You really don't need the off option. I'd like to thank everyone. For watching. Hope this has helped someone. And if you'd like to watch the remod of this kitchen or the other thermostat install, I'll provide a link